wild shit I see on YouTube. I'm like,
All right, we are live and in action here. We are going hard today. We got a special guest, Reaching8, aka what else? What else do you go by, man? What are your other aliases that people might know you by?
Uh, I'm Efran Cass in the chat. You've
Hey,
played me as Efran on Project Cartographer, most likely, if you were playing a couple years ago when I didn't have access to an Xbox. And then I'm obviously Scarred Being whenever I show up on Goatman's stream.
nice. So we got a nice little community-oriented podcast today. We're also going to be going over some Hcs standings, the land that we threw for the tournament, as well as some other things that are prevalent in the Halo community in regards to item store prices, bundle deals, updates, all kinds of stuff. So let's start off with the easiest topic, HCS standings. So those of you that don't know, HCS just finished off a lot of their rounds for their FFA championship, and we have 4 winners from each region. And they are as follows. We got... Oh boy, my phone's going nice and slow loading up their page. That's what I'm talking about. All right. From North America, we got Porky JJ. EU, we got T-Banged. The MX brackets, we got Magico. And then my favorite boy, we got Barcode from the Australia, New Zealand teams. This guy, I've been saying it for months, man. I know remember we were talking a few podcasts ago about our predictions about who was going to win what for Anaheim. And I threw out the AZ boys, even though they didn't get that strong of a finish. But this kid, man, I love watching his gameplay. Barcode's doing really well. Let me see if they have the statistics here on this picture they posted of him here. Yeah, so you got 2,000 points. Divinity in second behind him. Scoobmeister, Bananasaur, top 4. Each player getting 16, 17, 18, 2,000 points respectively. Now, their FFA settings were a little different than what we did at the tournament. At the tournament, when we threw the Infinite FFA, we augmented and experimented with some of the in-game settings to try to figure out how to make the game a little more stable in terms of fights. And the main thing that we did was experiment with the clamber speed. Now, Halo 5 and Halo Infinite are both known for this thing called Clamber Stalling. And if you're not familiar with it, it's when you go up to a ledge, you grab it, and then you de-grab it really quick, and it allows you to pretty much like hover in that area while shooting or throwing grenades. Makes you very hard to hit due to the animation. A lot of classic Halo players find that animation to be cheesy and a little too non-Halo-esque for the Halo sandbox. So what we did is we lowered it originally to 50% just to experiment during one of our warm-up games. It was way too low. But we found that with 80% that it really kind of buffered out that excessive kind of spam that we see a lot of people doing from the Halo 5 days on the clamber stalling. And as a side note, another reason why we didn't want people overly doing clamber is, if you guys don't know, Halo Infinite has a real problem with desync right now. And there's a lot of talk going on in the Twitterverse about how the desync issues are coming from sliding into walls and clambering off of objects, and it's causing all these issues in game. So until that's patched, I figured like that would be a good way to kind of deter people from using the mechanic too much in game. Fortunately, on LAN, I don't think I noticed any real desyncs in terms of players rubber banding anywhere or shot registration being an issue. So hopefully a lot of this is just online net coding issue that's going on when you see these things. But let's talk about HCS real quick. Now, all of these tournaments are being held online, and one of the issues that I have with it is that there's no real way to kind of check for cheaters or really check equipment in terms of people, network manipulation or hacks or what have you. So what we did at our tournament is I have a proprietary software that's installed on all of the PCs that people like hotels and like gaming centers use, that locks people out from accessing C drive, general file capabilities, even the web browser. So yeah, I'll be able to, overclock your controllers, but as soon as we're done with that, we lock them back into the state of only being able to launch the game on your profile. Now, I don't know if HCS is doing that deep of digging when it comes to their in-person events, but I would highly recommend them that they get some kind of software like that has the driver installation already preset for overclocking controllers, as well as making sure that nobody can access the main drives. We all had issues in the past with Halo Online in terms of hacking and cheating and host booting and such. And what we're seeing now during this whole COVID thing and the lack of open brackets at events for LANs for people to qualify is a lot of suspicious accusations, as well as, people getting clipped and getting caught with walls. Goat and I, just the other day, were watching this guy get caught. What was his name again? It was fucking Twisted Eyes or Twisted something?
Twisted Minds.
Twisted Minds, yeah. So we were going what do you think about that? What are your thoughts?
Try to come on the party, but I couldn't for some reason at the time. The explanations that have been given for why he wouldn't be cheating are absolutely retarded, but I don't believe that we have any kind of ability to actually say that he was cheating 100% beyond like a reasonable doubt, because the theater system is so completely fucked up. And this is something that I said on Twitter a while ago, is that if they had some kind of like a proprietary client, or they ran like a third-party anti-cheat like ESEA does for Counter-Strike, if you're familiar with that, or other PUG services, or if they did, to prevent network manipulation, their own sort of like tunneling client that you might use if you've ever worked from home, then we could actually avoid these sorts of issues. But with the way that the theater is and all those other issues being as they are, and like the lack of anti-cheat, like anyone can cheat, but it's very difficult to prove if anyone actually is cheating.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean? Like it's very difficult to go either way. I
was convinced. There was only one clip that stood out to me during that whole like playback that I was like, okay.
Shot, right?
It was
You talking about the nade shot?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was the one when the guy was sliding behind the wall when he was standing at Rockets area, and he was shooting. Yeah, he threw a wall to pre-nade the guy that was running away. I can forgive that. But when the guy came sliding out from behind the wall and he's like shooting that.
Wait, he's like looking down mid and he's like shooting that window, right? Like past the Rockets or whatever on streets.
There was no window. It was a solid concrete wall. Like the guy was behind it.
No. It's like an aesthetic window.
Oh,
like it's like those like white slashes on the side of like that police station or whatever. And he's just like machine gunning the wall.
No, it was, from what I saw,
like 20 feet behind the wall, man.
Yeah, it was a solid concrete wall. There wasn't a window or anything from the clip I'm talking about.
The thing is, I could see his confusion of why he nade shot it there, because if you look, it actually is kind of like an optical illusion where if the guy, because it looks like he was in front of the wall if you were using walls. You would think that he was sliding on that pathway in front of it, but he was actually way behind it.
Yeah.
But
and there was...
The angle... Yeah.
There was nothing giving him a hint about him being in that area either from the left, because it was visually off.
No angles, there was no comps, nothing, no angle that anyone was able to see from that.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, that was like...
That's the one clip. But beyond that, you're right with the theater, because there was another clip that I watched that Goat likes when he was shooting the fucking corner and like there's chunks of the wall coming off while he's shooting it. Yep. That to me, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, that could be a half second behind still. Like, in game, he might have not been shooting that corner.
Player positioning and stuff is never 100% accurate in any kind of demo system. Like you'll even see that in games that I think are great demo systems.
What do you mean demo system? This game's out. it's a AAA company completed game.
If people don't know, like a theater replay is what's called a demo.
Yeah.
So it takes the player inputs and it tries to recreate them.
Yeah.
I believe that 5 and Infinite both use like server side as opposed to player generated demo, which is what they use in Halo 3, which is why you actually can't see your friend's perspective, but you can for yourself. In
yeah, and it made way better montages that way too.
It did for sure, because like the reticle position is a little bit more accurate. You don't have to record like live as you do shit.
Right.
But with Infinite, because you're pulling it from the server, you can actually have like slightly inaccurate player positions and slightly inaccurate reticle placement and things, which makes it very difficult to actually see if somebody is cheating. I agree with you that like it looks extremely suspect to me, but there are so many factors that prevent this from being like a fair online like play environment that should just be getting dealt with.
Yeah.
Like banning one guy for you think walling is fine. Like there should be an investigation and all that. But what is in place now to stop this from ever happening again, right? Are they talking about buying ESEA's anti-cheat? Are they talking about fixing their theater system to actually make it more accurate?
Yeah.
Players were joining games when they were told that they had to be on Series X on a PC.
Yes. That's
Like,
another.
how the fuck does that work?
That's another thing with that whole situation is he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm playing on Xbox," and then
Which
he
is
was
never
on
radical.
PC. So it's like,
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
yeah,
You got caught with your hand in the cookie jar, bro.
yeah. Here's my.
Well, you know, maybe he couldn't get like a Series X or something. And yeah, I get it. It looks sketchy, but like, why is Microsoft not mailing you a fucking development kit?
Just to
And
make
why
the
is like an
tournaments
admin
work, yeah.
not having you send like a picture of your Xbox? And like, why is this so poorly managed? I don't get it.
It's because of the lack of experience. A lot of the people that are hired in 343 weren't actually around during like the early foundational seasons of what, like, even pre-MLG. There's a lot of people don't know about AGP and like other things that were happening before. Go there. So there's a lot of this trial and error has already been done in the past, but 343 has chosen to go with the creative flow, with hiring people that they deem are more aligned in their vision of what they think is Halo, and that comes with a cost of lack of experience when it comes to managing necessary tournaments. Now, here's my question. Now, there's all this talk about, oh, there's no anti-cheat, this or that. Now, what if I postulate this, right? Are you guys familiar with the company called Engine Owning?
I've heard the name, man. I
So-
couldn't tell you what their software is.
Engine Owning is a cheat software mainly used by Call of Duty players, and they sell their hacks and stuff as a subscription service online. You pay like 20, 30 or something bucks a month, and then they allow you to have the access to the downloads and whatnot, and they patch fix
Right,
it.
so
And
it's like an AMware subscription or something.
yeah, exactly. So they do this. Now, back in the past, these things were very niche. It was very hardcore nerdy gamers that were hard modding their Xboxes, soft modding kits and things like that in order to make these things happen. Whereas nowadays, if you have $20 and an Activision ID, you can get hacks on your own computer. Now, what does this mean? It means that the average gamer now, as they're getting clapped in these lobbies, is more inclined over time. If, like, for people like us, we'll never use them because we get the adrenaline rush of all the skill that we've built over the last 15 years, and we want to continue that little addiction that we have with the adrenaline. But a lot of these kids, they've never won a fucking game. Like, well, they've never dominated in a game where they're like, oh shit, like, wow, you know, I dropped a 20 bomb in hardcore. So
That actually brings up another point too. The thing is what's also fucked up is 343 has nerfed Halo, and what I mean by Halo is the most recent title of Infinite. They nerfed it now where you can't go really, nobody's going in and going 25-0, no one's going 20-0. It's designed that every single like weapon in the sandbox could take out any other weapon.
yeah, and
You have a needler taking out a VR. You got this taking out that. That's a huge fucking rock paper scissors game, right? And so since you get into all these like trade gunfights, it kind of like inclines, because there's no skill gap, and an average player and a really good player are now on the same level playing field. It inclines a lot of cheating to happen. It starts because people are like, I need to get that edge. I need to get my skill itself isn't enough, so I gotta have some kind of edge. I gotta have wall hacks. I gotta have this. I gotta have that. I gotta have auto in, because it's just not enough to be good anymore. Because being good is nerfed.
yes.
You know, we talked
Yes.
about it. We talked about the bloom and the blowback and the snipe. I shouldn't have to I shouldn't have to pull the trigger and then like realign my shot for a second every time I pull the fucking trigger. I should be able to go.
It's
blam.
not part of the
VR
Halo formula. It's not
VR
original Halo
right,
formula.
It is actually like an anti-skill mechanic, right? The BR, the way that it kicks up, because if you shoot at the smallest target on somebody, the head, you will actually miss and not for them.
Yeah.
But if you shoot at their chest,
At their
certain
chest, yes,
ranges-
it automatically
for
jumps and
their
kicks
head.
back down to chest.
So when I first tried the game, I only played it for like 4 hours. I had 6 crashes, by the way, and I'm just not touching it again.
Jesus,
But,
I don't blame you.
Yeah, the fucking, I would have people shooting at me with the BR, and it's like I'm getting hit with like a fucking laser beam, and I just get headered every time, and I'm like aiming at their head. My aimer's right on their head the whole fucking time.
But it's kicking
like, the
up.
projectile speed is so fast. It's kicking up over their head. I thought it was like aesthetic, like it is in Halo 2, where like the reticle goes up, but like the burst still hits the same spot.
Yeah.
Or like Halo 3, like the burst is gonna hit the same spot. No, it kicks up, so like the last shot is nailing me in the head. Mine's going over them.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So
you
for
have
me
to
having better aim,
relearn
I'm
the
just getting
game.
fucked.
Yeah. The thing is, if you're faster,
It's not even one of those things where it's like relearning, because I've had to relearn games all the time. Like I had to relearn Counter-Strike a million times as they updated it, the original Counter-Strike.
Mhm.
I had to relearn Quake between like Quake 1 and then fucking Arena Mod and Quake 2 and then Quake 3. Right? It's all different, but rarely do you have a game that like the aiming gets nerfed like that in such like an obvious way.
Yeah.
Where it's like a more skilled player gets punished for being more skilled. That makes no fucking sense.
Call of Duty has a
Reach
similar
your
mechanic with it too, and this is another thing that's happening with modern video games, is that the problem with like Halo copied Call of Duty in a lot of regards to that, like that flick up, but in Call of Duty it's unique like this. Let's say I'm dialed in on somebody's chest and I'm hitting them with an AR, right? If I get shot, my reticle actually kicks vertically up and it forces my shot into their head. So what you'll notice in Call of Duty is like you'll have the first shot on somebody, but because they're able to like snap on you, even if they're not like on your head, it's going to kick their aim up and correct it up into that while they're getting hit. Yeah, so it's like there's all these mechanics. Like the best example for Halo getting dumbed down is I'll always go to this.
Does Halo actually have like that aim bashing where you get knocked up when you're
but it's like it's that self-correcting thing instead of it just being raw inputs. Like Call of Duty introduced that to the gaming competitive world.
What's it called? CS 1.5 or something like that started to introduce that, I think, at one point.
But it wasn't calculated.
Different kind of game.
Yeah, but that kick was like way over the head. Like that threw your aim off bad.
Yeah, you get thrown into like the sky.
Yeah, like whereas now it's like, oh, you were aiming at their belly button. Well, guess what? Now you're on their chin. You know, like it's very calculated. And there's a reason they do this. It's for player retention. But here's my argument. Here's my real argument at the end of the day. Now, we're talking about every average player having access to these things to make them better. And we have the games getting dumbed down at the same time. The only solution I see here's the reason why I'm going to get a little extreme here. The cheat manufacturing businesses that exist are now valued in the B of billions. Not only do we have Corona Zen, we got Zim Apex hardware getting sold at Best Buy, like, and fucking GameStop as if it's a normal, just socially normal thing to buy off the shelf. But then on top of that, these subscription services, all you need is a PayPal. These guys are valued in.
I walked into Best Buy and they were selling fucking Cronuses and Titans and shit.
Yep.
Like, right there, like.
Yep. Although they're meant for, you know, like LAN play and like getting rid of Bluetooth interference, that's a fucking like logical workaround to what it really is. It's a scripting hardware that bypasses anti-cheat. So my main point here is like, we're not just going up against hackers. It's not that we don't have an anti-cheat. We have an anti-cheat, but the money that's involved for the cheating software developers is so much larger than the amount of money that our companies like Microsoft are willing to put into the anti-cheat. So they're always going to be a step ahead. That's why Ricochet and Vanguard didn't work. That's why Halo MCC, even Easy anti-cheat, is having issues. Easy's one of the best because it can detect things fast. But the one that they have right now in Infinite, the hackers are light years ahead of the game developers for the anti-cheat department. They have an anti-cheat, like, but there's no report button to help out. There's no team.
It effectively doesn't exist though, Blake.
Right. There's no. They're outgunned. They don't have the resources.
Anti-cheat or Riot's anti-cheat or something like that. They operate off of what I believe is like some kind of machine learning.
Yes.
Where they figure out who's actually cheating.
Yes.
And then they check like their mouse inputs and all kinds of things, and they cross-reference that against people that are playing the game.
Yes.
So even if you have a massive number of hackers, like you would in Counter-Strike Go or like the Riot game, whatever, Valorant, right? When you have a huge number of hackers, which those games are infested with hackers as well, don't get it twisted, but their anti-cheat actually combats that, and eventually people do get banned, at least in some capacity. In Infinite, the way that cheating works, like, it just seems like you can't even counter it.
Their machine learning is slow compared to our competitors in esports.
You have some of the most advanced machine learning labs in the world.
But they won't use it. They just because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're actually up against, is what it really comes down to. They launch their game half-assed. They launch their game. They're like, oh, we have anti-cheat. We're good.
They cater to the masses. And the thing is,
what masses, dude? There's like 80,000 people on the game.
Well, think about this. How many people that are really good at Halo are contacting Microsoft, crying and bitching, right? Versus how many people are bad that are crying and bitching.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, you know, it's like if something's done right, you might tell one or two people. If something's done wrong, you'll tell the whole world, right? And so, like, you got these kids who are like, oh, these Halo kids are so toxic. They're so toxic. They're ruining the game. They're ruining matchmaking. And so
Yep.
you have Microsoft hearing like a whole flood of just
Halo
complaints
Waypoint
coming
forum
in.
and Reddit nerds just fucking screeching
Exactly.
every fucking
Yeah.
day.
Well, everyone who actually gives a shit
Exactly.
about Halo is already banned from that, right? So it's just an echo chamber.
Yeah, literally.
Like, you ever hear about the
I'm
they had a
banned
bunch
off the
of CE
Waypoint forums.
guys. Yeah, 2552 boys. Maybe I'll get to post again.
Yeah,
But
hey, everybody on stream, you want to have a bad time? Go play CE against some sweats and see how that works out. For
well,
you,
so
man.
they actually had this. So you know how we always talk about, or at least I always say, like, Microsoft should hire Hardaway, and Microsoft should hire Uncut Fighter, and you guys always talk about Uncut Fighter,
Yeah.
where he actually like, knows a lot of shit about Halo 2 and all that, or like they should
He's a good guy.
they should hire Tommy Cost. He would just recreate all of the
Yeah.
matchmaking in Halo 3, and he's also a lot less incendiary than BlaketheStrafe. But yeah, they tried to do that right with the CE. They talked to a bunch of guys that were like CE pros, guys that are still obsessed with playing CE. They told them what their plans were, and everybody was like begging them, like, Microsoft, please no, don't put the shitty Gearbox version in, or at least if you're going to like make all these changes and shit. And they all just got removed from this WhatsApp call and then banned off a Waypoint. There's still, like, a
Wow.
Reddit post about it. Yeah.
My God, man. So this is what we're up against, man. Like it's the world of casual gamers. And this is like we've been playing games 15, 18 years consistently every day almost.
Those kids come and go. We've been around and
Yeah.
plan on being
And,
around.
but the thing is that that mass of 1,000 shitters is
They
each
bring their
willing to
money,
spend
though.
$5. Yeah, exactly. Versus us, where we're like one transaction of $5. It's all a money game, and that's why like I can't stress this enough. Like the anti-cheat, like they're going up against a $1 billion industry, and I know this is going to sound extreme, but just hear me out. It's the game hatred. But you go to the engine owning and all of these other places headquarters in Minecraft. But that's just my 2 cents on it.
Well, the
I think
destructible
that's the
environments,
that's the
would be a
real
lot better if you
solution.
did that than in the game hatred, right? So
Yeah, I think, but I'm talking about in Minecraft, not in
Yeah, of course, yeah.
not in real life. But I mean, that would solve the issue in Minecraft immediately if somebody
Well, so
popped
the
off
issue was kind of,
in their
I'm sure you
offices
already
with
know,
an
but
AK.
The issue was already mostly solved, right? Like, I didn't go to a lot of Halo lands. I live in Canada, so we'll talk about connection at some point
Yeah.
here too, because that is fucked. But when there'd be like lands for like Counter-Strike or Quake or something, I would often show up, and if people were like cheating, or even suspected of cheating, they would just get their ass beat.
Yeah. Yeah,
So you'd
I remember
always
punching
look at
some kid in the
best-
face in high school. I still remember.
Yeah,
His name was
yeah.
Dimitri. He was using hacks on our fucking 1.6 little land that we had going during our free hour. And he changed his name to Blake as a FAG. And I just went up to I just straight up stood out of my chair right when he changed his name, just pop right in the nose. And he started crying and shit. Left the room. Yeah. Well, teacher
One of
didn't do
my
anything
friends
because
was-
like he didn't care. Like fucking.
One of my friends was like a reasonably big like TF2 player like during the dead years in,
I love
in
TF2.
Hamilton area. I don't know if anyone's reported on this, probably not because it's in Canada, but in Hamilton, which is kind of like a shitty city by Canadian standards, a guy was cheating at a TF2 land. He got stabbed in the parking lot. But, like,
Oh, Kelly.
yeah.
Hyena.
Oh,
what are you
yeah,
doing
was that
outside?
Bo? Was Bo in Canada? What, Bo? Where is he? We got some questions to ask.
Yeah, so that's the kind of shit, right? Like, I honestly don't give a fuck if people are cheating online because the standings were all based on, people playing on LAN.
Yeah.
Like, do you really think that all these Halo 2 pros were all 50s when everyone was like cheating and standbying and
No,
shit?
fuck no.
Do you think they would kick the shit out of anyone if it was a LAN? Yeah, they're better
Yeah.
at the game.
The
Like,
best- the best
not a big
players
deal.
I knew
I'd
in
see
Halo
Walshy
2
fucking
were like-
wrestling somebody to the ground and then breaking their
Oh, yeah,
arm.
yeah.
Like he just.
but you wouldn't need to because you're at a LAN. Like,
Yeah.
you're too fucking scared to do it. And if
Yeah,
you do,
right.
someone
Yeah,
else
be
in,
like,
the open
be
pool's
looking
gonna kick your
around. There's
ass.
like, oh
Yeah.
shit, everyone's. Oh
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, I don't want to get
remember,
mad.
like-
I don't cheat on LAN. Like, I don't fucking. That is a good way to actually have standings for this kind of shit.
No, and then like it's unfortunate that this is the state of gaming where we can't even have like back when I was an admin for Halo 3, the worst I ever had to deal with was like people trying to prove that they were getting booted offline. There was never any like, oh, aimbot walls, this and that. So like you could hold MLG tournaments online with still some good credibility.
Yes.
Barely. I had like maybe 1 or 2 tickets throughout my entire career. Like for every ladder that I've ever managed was, oh yeah, we got booted offline. And these kids were so nerdy that like they just came at me with like, oh, here's it is, like screenshots in the VOD. I'm like, no, dude, I need more evidence than this. This looks like somebody just DC'd or something. You know what I mean? So it's like, back then it wasn't even like manageable or whatever, but it didn't happen. Now it's like every fucking game online almost. And I don't mean like every round, but every multiplayer video game has some kind of company that's just dedicated to making cheats for it.
Yeah, I got knocked off with like a $5 booter in like 2013 or something playing Counter-Strike Go.
Yeah,
like
Goat and I just got knocked offline the other night.
Yeah, playing fucking matchmaking. Like,
yesterday.
Yeah,
I got hit twice.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure a couple days ago on H2 I got hit. So like,
there's some guy named Lemons in his crew that are just fucking butthurt.
I'm not gonna say no names because I'm not gonna give the person any more recognition.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, let's just say a secret admirer of mine likes to hit me offline every time they match me. And the other night,
well, no, he missed. He fucked up. He booted his own teammates because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Well, yeah, he booted his own teammate, but
doesn't even have a whitelist.
Well, he booted 2 of my teammates, and it was 2-on-3 on Ascension, and I still won.
Yeah, with his 3-stack, he booted his random and booted 2 goats, and he still lost. Like, bro, like this is the reason why they need cheats, though, is because there's people out there that have actually put in the hard work, that have actually grinded over the years to be dominant, and like, it's disgraceful, man. It's annoying. But HCS, my suggestion, if you're really worried about people on LAN using cheats, if you don't have enough refs to watch all the PCs at once, just invest in some fucking hotel software that like, just gives the interface of boot launching the game and like has the overclock driver ready for somebody. Like that's all you need. You don't need to have like people accessing the C drive and File Explorer for their fucking, remapping buttons or whatever. You can boot all those programs into a locked interface and just run it that way. But no.
I don't know how much research you've done into how they run like Counter-Strike and Dota 2 events and stuff back when those games were at like their peak, but they would have these things called black boxes that are like they're a host box, but they also run like a shitload of software on it, and all the data is going through there for all the computers that are connected.
Everything that
it's down to like, you can see if one of the computers has like a power failure through that. If someone's like actually unplugging their computer to try to get like a round reset or something.
Yes.
And in Dota 2 events for a while, they were having players carry around their own hard drives, and like they would give them a new mouse and a new keyboard whenever they were going to an event. That's like the same brand that they use at home, so that they couldn't have any cheats
macros
loaded.
Yeah,
because there were some online cheating things in those MOBA action RTS kind of video games. People were like giving themselves gold and stuff, which just fucks the whole game balance up. So they had ways to deal with that as well. Not saying that any of these are perfect, but that's like, they're putting in the effort, right? This isn't like the NFL running a fucking anti-doping thing against their own players. Like ESIC is out there trying to fucking actually get people fined for cheating in some games. Like
I think
Halo is light years behind.
Yeah.
What I think they should do to fix a lot of this shit is just let's go back to the roots, boys. Buy a fucking plane ticket, get a team, show up to the event. You're not bringing your console, you're not playing online, you're not using your own PC. You're using all their own shit, default everything the way it was done, But we all know the problem with that right now. I'm not going to say the C word or COVID.
Let me. Oh shit! Engine Owning has it on Halo. It only took 1 week post launch. Says chat. God damn.
But that COVID is definitely fucking our tournament play as far as like showing up to events.
Yeah.
That's like the main excuse, the main culprit of like why we can't, why all this online shit at home shit. And the thing is, it's just pushing the narrative for everything to just be at home. No one needs to show up to shit. We'll just keep doing this online shit, and that's not where it's at, guys. Like the best way.
That's what China wants.
Yeah. The best way to really combat all this is to show up to the event. Sit down. You're not at home. You're on their TV. You're on their monitor. You're on their console. Maybe you bring your own controller, and that gets checked out.
Do you remember back in the day what they used to do on the MLG forums? They used to post the hardware that they used at the events, and you can just go out and buy that hardware.
Yep.
Whereas now everything's like fucking like you have to like go in forums and pull teeth just to get any info about stuff like that out of people. It's not even public knowledge.
That's the only way, man. Like all this other stuff, there's black boxes, this and that, fucking online referees, all that's just too much, man. We don't have the resources and we don't have the money behind it to really have something like that.
Yeah. We need, if 343 wants to be taken seriously as an esport, because I know they're LARPing as one, they really want to do it. They got to put more money and time investment into this anti-cheat because they're going up against $1 billion industry. Like,
the thing is they don't give a fuck because in a couple of years they're gonna have a new fucking product to shove down our throats. And as long as we're buying the product, that's all they care about. They don't actually care about the gameplay.
Yeah.
I mean, look what they did. Look at Halo 2 Anniversary. What the fuck was that?
Stop buying skins, guys.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Dude, that Halo 2 Anniversary's campaign was actually good. They did a great job on the cutscenes.
And it was cut in half.
They took the engine, the Halo 2 engine, and they reskinned it. I was like, oh my god, this is fucking beautiful. I can't wait to play fucking matchmaking. I go into matchmaking Halo 2 Anniversary. I'm thinking it's going to be Halo 2, but reskinned. So same engine, same gameplay, but it's just going to look like way more high fidelity. I go in there, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? I literally got to wear my fucking sunglasses to play fucking lockouts because the fucking color filter's so goddamn bright.
It's Halo 4.
It's Halo 4 modded. That's all Halo 2 Anniversary is. And
I don't even know if it's that modded though. You can still do like the super crouch jumps and shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it's not
the same engine. They just reskinned it. They just reskinned it.
Halo 4 fucking scoreboard.
Yeah.
It's just the Halo 4 skins. Like the armor that you wear in H2A, most of it is just the same shit that you could unlock in Halo 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Like, did you do this on purpose? You did this to piss us off, right?
It's two different studios actually that did that, right? So Saber Interactive, who I believe it was Saber, they did the campaign portion, and then Blur Studios did the cutscenes. They're people who do the cutscenes for Halo Wars. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Fidelity cutscenes, obviously, fucking phenomenal. Best part of the game by far.
Advice to whoever the fuck's running Halo these days is when you make an anniversary of a game, you use the fucking engine of that game, and then you can reskin it. You can call it anniversary. Stop taking Halo Reach and making a Halo CE anniversary. Stop taking Halo 4 and making a Halo 2 anniversary. It's not that game.
Imagine they take H5 and make H3.
I'm gonna just throw something out there, guys.
Well, they did that actually, H5 and make H3. Yeah, they did that. We can talk about that in a sec.
I didn't know that.
The graphics isn't updating the game. Okay?
Yep.
Like, I mean, the engine is the game, not the skin. Making a game look better doesn't make the game better. And that's a huge problem I'm having with 343 right now. Is they're like, well, make it look better. No, you need to make it play better. A lot of people don't know, but Halo Infinite is just Halo 5.
Yes. Yeah,
Halo
it's just a slightly modified Blam engine.
It's
still the same engine as Halo CE, by the way, so it's technologically massively behind too.
Yeah.
That's why it's having desync issues and shit everywhere with all these new fucking mechanics.
Halo 2 Anniversary is Halo 4, and Halo CE Anniversary is Halo Reach.
Yes.
If anybody doesn't know, 3 games are a copy of 3 other games.
There's no integration. Nothing.
We're just like recycling the same shit, and they're just repackaging it. It's like when you go to Taco Bell. It doesn't matter what you fucking order. You're eating the same fucking 5 ingredients.
Yeah, just arranged differently.
It's into a different fucking shape.
Yeah.
You know? It's just, oh my god.
The average gamer won't know that, though. That's how they get away with it. It's sad. It really is sad.
I believe part of the reason for that, actually, though, is that they have this obsession with contracting out certain parts of their games, if not the entire game, to like temps or other studios. So there's a studio, it's called Certain Affinity. I can't remember who it is, but a couple of the Bungie guys actually went and created it. It's like a small multiplayer-focused studio that makes multiplayer, like tacked-on multiplayer, basically, for other games. They ended up doing H2A, because the Halo Reach, Halo 4 version of Blam has better like modding tools and stuff. It's just easier to work on. So their small team was able to create it. Whereas like having to reverse engineer the hired gun version of Halo 2 and like reskin it and shit and like do the multiplayer and make it not fucked up would have taken like too much money or something. Too many more staff hires. Something
I don't think they know how. I don't think they have even the skill to do it.
They had like an unlimited budget for Infinite. and I believe that shit just got laundered. Cause
Yeah.
Well,
Bonnie walked away with a fucking few mil for sure.
They wasted over 60% of it.
Bonnie's got one hell of a fucking
What? Wait. 60. Wait, elaborate.
So I can't say this 100%, but whatever their budget was for Infinite, let's say $500 million. I don't think it was $500 million, but it was a phenomenal amount of money. Obviously, way more than Halo 3 or something cost. And they had a bunch of different teams just doing whatever they wanted with no real oversight for 4 years of the 6-year development, just making whatever they wanted. And then in the last 2 years, they basically had to make the game so it only was made in 2 years and for like a third of the budget. There's a bunch of reports that have come out.
Is this the reason why Staten was brought back on? Probably.
Yes.
Because there was no fucking organization between the groups.
Like,
oh my
tell
god.
People like that needs to be cut. Because this happened with Halo 2 as well. It's just that the staff was a lot more talented.
Yeah, they were a lot more competent. They worked fucking 16-hour shifts.
Yes,
they did whatever the fuck it
Halo
took.
2 in a few months. They also basically made Halo CE in a few months.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the people then could make a Halo CE multiplayer in 4 days.
Yeah.
That's basically what went down. Like the sound was done for the multiplayer in I think like an afternoon. It was that close.
A lot of people don't know this about Bungie, but this is one of the most impressive feats ever in gaming history that their original staff was ever able to do. There's a game called Minotaur's Labyrinth. It was their first ever game that they made. It was the first ever peer-to-peer video game via computers. Like they literally not only invented matchmaking via Halo 2, but they also invented peer-to-peer computer fucking gaming back in the day. So these minds that were involved with the original netcode writing and everything, they know how to do it so well because they fucking made it. Like they are the foundational. Like it's like asking the founding fathers to write another amendment. Like that.
Yep.
It would take them fucking 2 minutes. Yeah, no problem. But nowadays, now we got like fucking 60 days of like attaching pork to bills and like you get what I'm saying. But like when Bungie left and 343 took over, their entire staff of the multiplayer development franchise was replaced. And MCC was David Garza, you know. Why is my cat meowing? What do you want?
Kitty wants in.
Come here.
Sorry.
Come here, Memo. What do you want, buddy? Are they treating you like shit out there? Giving you flea medicine? You not liking it? Anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. But I just
Because there are still talented developers out there. This isn't like a modern gaming kind of thing.
No, yeah,
like,
they're all in indie games.
If you played the game Dusk, actually, it was made by one guy in like Unity, and
Right.
it's like one of the better shooters ever.
Yep.
Right. If you've actually a studio that Microsoft owns, right? It's software. Doom Eternal is about 20 gigs, and it runs phenomenally well. And it's also like one of these pinnacle shooter. Like I have issues with it, but like it's right there. It's a good game.
Yeah.
Like it's a sick game. I don't see how Microsoft is unable to attract good enough talent to make these games.
A lot of it, and me and my buddy DGK Acid talk about this all the time, but there is definitely an office politics issue with 343. There is for sure an overreaching ideology that runs that office place in terms of postmodernism. And if you're a good programmer, if you're like every good this is just personal experience, this is not an axiom, but just in my life, every time that I've ever met somebody that's really good at coding, really good at anything like that, they tend they don't like bullshit. They don't like fucking jibber jabber. They don't like redundancy. That they're a very logical minded person. And 343, their business model and all that is not part of their axiom. They're more about inclusion in soft padded walls than they are getting the fucking job done. And that's a lot where this issue comes from in terms of game instability, desync issues. All of these things are from people that just don't have the discipline necessary in order to carry out something. And just, it's my 2 cents on it. I think that there's a lot of office politics involved that's headed by Bonnie Ross. I think she's the top-down negotiator for all things in regards to that. And the biggest indicator I can say about it is look at Chief's presence from the first few Halo games until 343 came involved. What was Chief? You were Chief. You were the super cybernetic soldier behind the mask, and it was your gameplay. Sure, he spoke here every now and then, but you were him. And now what's the narrative? Oh, he's this damaged child. He's this, that, and like he's this. It's like, bro, people don't play the fucking game to get a psychology lecture about military industrial complex. No, you're a fucking killer and you need to save the planet. Go kill the aliens. That's like the goal. It's so convoluted. There's so much excess story and all this shit. And that's why I liked Infinite, because it went right back to that old school Chief. Like even the speech that he gave to fucking Octane, or, you know, it's the voice actor for Octane. I call him Octane. But like, yeah, like that's classic Chief right there. Like, no, we need to fight. And then you go and you fight. And then you go, and it's the next, like, it's the next part of the mission. There's none of this like, oh, Locke is here and he's gonna Chief and Cortana, this and that. And it's like, no. We're not fucking doing this anymore. The part of that, of Halo, is over. And there's still some people in the dev team you can see that are still gripping on to that old, like, ideology. Like, they still think Halo 5 is like the most competitive esport Halo's ever put out, and it needs to stop. You need to let the OGs just take over, because right now it's a laughing stock. It really is. People are watching these game series. What was it, fucking Navi versus FaZe, that took 4 hours?
Yep. Yeah, I was the guy in the chat constantly being like, it just crashed again, Blake. It just crashed again. Can we get to GB-admin over here?
Yeah. And it's just...
Which is shit, right? Those are the... I imagine a lot of people who are watching this probably know them from that interview with Tommy Koss, but these are all like UK pros, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like Flux, Respectful, Jimbo, right? Those are all like the Na'Vi guys. I can't remember who their fourth is, but they travel all the way to the US to play in this Halo game. Lose the first game, fine. Go to the second game on Streets. They're winning. I believe that I can't remember if they almost had, because Oddball's fucked up now, right?
It's all round based, yeah.
Yes. Anyway, they almost won the first round. So, like, they're halfway to winning the fucking game.
Momentum and start all over again.
Yeah, start the whole series.
Yeah. Start the round over again, and they lose Streets.
Yeah.
And you can see it, like, Respectful there. Looks like he's fucking tripping out on Adderall. But I think he was just, like, nervous, because he's like, you've flown all the way here. The game's been crashing for the last 2 hours. Like, you're just watching your chance, like, you're cooling down. You're just watching your chance of at least, like, winning a game, just fading the fuck away.
Getting fucking iced for no reason.
Do it.
Yeah. So
it's like icing the kicker 4 times in a row, man.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible.
So, like, I wanted to bring that up, too. Like, during the LAN, we had technical difficulties. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Goat saw how fucking angry I was getting in that back room trying to get that fucking thing going. I was tearing shit off the walls. I was fucking ripping cables out here and there to make everything fit. But, bro, you know what I did?
I just left. Like, I didn't even say anything to you. I just walked away.
You just knew. Goat knows when I'm in my zone, I'm going to get it done. I just need privacy. I just need to fucking be in my headspace. But that's the thing, though, is that when I was I fixed that PC issue in what, 15, 30 minutes? The game wasn't rendering or capturing well on the capture card, so I went and grabbed another PC, ran the observer on one, and then ran a capture card on the other, and just fucking made it work, right? And the biggest issue that we had was setting up the custom games. This is how fucking... I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown of how busted this fucking game is, setting up games on LAN. And I want to preface it with this. I was telling Goat, what is Halo? How do we define Halo? Oh, Halo's that game that we used to link all our boxes up together in our dorm room and play like on LAN. Not this Halo. Like that idea, the core of what the game really fucking was, is gone. I go to load in a fucking game. Here's how it works. And those of you that are trying to throw tournaments, here's the workaround, and this is how it goes, right? You have to go online, make your custom game setting with all like if you're making an FFA game type or whatever, you don't have the game types from HCS and you're trying to do your own thing, make the game type make it online on Xbox Live. Then you go to offline. Then you start a lobby as the observer, and then you upload your game type or whatever. Now what you're gonna see is the same game type you loaded into the game with. It's not gonna show the game that you just loaded in. Like, you do all the button presses, you do everything right, select the game type, select the map, it'll still show the original, like it defaults on like Slayer or some dumb shit. It'll still show that. But when you load the game, it'll actually play the correct settings. So there's this big fucking, and you can't adjust anything offline. So you have to make sure that your game type is on point before you go to load it on LAN.
343 never thought anybody was actually going to land their shit. They thought it was going to be fucking Xbox.
They're the biggest esport. They're the most legitimate esport ever.
No, they're just retarded.
Oh
so
my
Halo
God.
5, right? They failed to include LAN functionality until what, 2016, 2017, right? So all their LAN was online, and they had this same problem. And now the same problem is repeating itself, but worse because the game wasn't finished, right? So like you have like teams scrambling, and you have to have everybody join in sequence and that.
Yep.
But like the actual functionality of the LAN, which is the problem they had in Halo 5, has not been properly addressed.
No.
They've just made the same mistake twice in a
What the
row.
fuck are they doing for fucking 4, 5, 6 years?
Designing skins.
Making the game wrong for 4 years, and then
Making it
finding
wrong, yeah.
what kind of worked for 2. That's what they were doing.
Right. Literally.
With a staff of 18-month temps. So even that 2-year period, people like had to untangle spaghetti for 18 months and then maybe work on the game for like, I don't know, 6, 8, and then ship it.
Hey, buddy.
Because it has to come out.
And it plays like shit.
Yeah.
It plays like dog shit. The game
So
is terrible.
let me finish that thought real quick on setting up the LANs. Now, every game, more likely than not, the observer is going to crash. And when that happens, the observer has to leave the game and start a new lobby. But guess what? The server can't figure that out. So you have to reset the whole fucking host server box. We had a super PC in our building right next to the main server that all the PCs were connected to. That was running the host box. I had the observer in the back and a game capture card PC right next to it. If you want to run your shit, you want it to go smooth, just hear me out. Do exactly as I just said. Go clip the fucking VOD or whatever if you need, but follow those steps and the game is playable. But you cannot edit anything on the fly offline. I don't know what the fuck that's about with the coding, but you can't do any of that. Now, when it came to the 4s, you have to have, I think he was just talking about this in Halo 5's issue, but you have to have the teams join one player at a time that are on this, like, so like the first 4 players are the first team that join. And then you invite the second 4 players that are on the same team. If everybody just joins, you can't switch teams. God forbid. You can't fucking like, you know, you can't do any of the basic functionality that's been around since Halo CE. You can't do it. So just keep that in mind when you're throwing LANs, is just remember, pre-set up everything, join one at a time, reset the server if the fucking observer crashes. If it doesn't crash, you can load up the next game file and it still runs fine. But more likely than not, it's gonna fucking crash on you. And that's your workaround. You're welcome. Anyway.
See what the chat's saying.
Yeah, let's catch up on chat. I'd be looking at it all. I think Eagle DM'd me here. Engine owning Halo Infinite cheats, wall hack and aimbot for Halo. Oh my god. It's a direct fucking link already.
Sweet.
Jesus Christ. What a fucking joke.
People are just agreeing that, you know, a suspect says land needs to be land, no, this online garbage.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean, that, because let's go past the fact that the game plays like shit. Let's go back to their engine shit. Let's go past cheating. Let's just talk about lag.
Yes.
Let's just talk about.
I'm waiting forever to talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like, you got one guy who's fucking, you know, ice skating with one foot in the air, gliding around the fucking map. You know, I'm shooting him fucking
Brian Boitano over here.
Yeah, guys on one foot like this, just fucking gliding around, you know, from Colombia, and I'm like putting 2 clips into his head, and he's just like looks back at me and fucking pops me, you know. You get all kinds of fucking lag issues. Everyone's on a different connection. Half the fucking community that's, you know, our community's already fucking like an endangered species.
Yeah.
So half the people on the East Coast don't want to play the other half on the West Coast, so everyone goes into their network settings and dodges the other fucking...
Buys as a net Duma. Because there's no server browser option, God forbid, like we had in Halo 3, where you could, remember, hit X and then you hit the little prioritized connection?
Yeah.
Why are we devolving? Why is that gone? And we sit here and we're wondering, like, this is why I respect the fuck out of Royal 2 more than any other pros, because he literally looked at 343 in their tournament and said, fuck you, fix it before I fucking don't use it. He said, fuck you, I'm going to use it anyway. Fuck you, fix it.
You know, I would have to do the same thing, actually, if I wanted to play. I live in Eastern Canada, right?
Yeah.
So the lag compensation, everybody fucking shits on Halo 2, Halo 3 online, and I do too, because they were not fucking perfect. However, I can actually play those games online because there's extremely good lag compensation.
There's server browser too.
Yeah, I can fucking tap people with my AR, man cannon to man cannon on narrows, and like finish them off if they're no shields. You can't do that on MCC, and you can't even get registration where I live on Infinite at that range.
Yeah.
It's not possible because like there is literally zero lag compensation to speak about. And if people don't know what that is,
It's part of the netcode.
Yes, it's part of the netcode, but it essentially Tommy Cost has a good video on it. I'd recommend anyone looks at that about Halo 3.
That's what. Yep.
What it allows you to do is essentially makes the hitboxes slightly larger, or like they trail a little bit more on like the server side. So if you're shooting where the server thinks is behind somebody, but like on your screen, it's where the person actually is.
God forbid.
You actually get the kill for it.
God forbid we have that.
This is something that Counter-Strike 1.6 had as well.
Yep.
It is exploitable. You can totally like whip the sniper and kill people and shit when you're off host. However, it's like the legal system, right? Guilty person going innocent is better than innocent person going fucking guilty. So
good analogy. Good fucking analogy, man.
Right? So if I get whip sniped like twice in a game where I have host, that's fine because we're still playing like a somewhat fair game. But if that guy literally can't kill me, and if I jump and just become invincible, like they've just been, and
there's no punishment factor at all.
Because I ping like 60 to every Microsoft Azure server, so I never get host in the couple games where MCC has host, and I never have a good connection on Infinite, and I just can't play. So I'd have to geo-filter if I had to play at a competitive level. And he lives in fucking Saskatchewan, Royal 2, by the way.
Yep.
So he could have played Halo 3 online absolutely fine, because he lives in like the middle of North America, and even on like 120 ping, you can still play Halo 3 sort of competently, and it's still kind of a competitive match.
Yes.
On Infinite, there's no lag compensation, and there's a fat amount of desync.
Oh my god,
so
the corners.
You couldn't even probably get any registration.
I'm sure we've all seen, if you guys haven't seen, go on Twitter and just browse Halo Infinite for a little bit. I guarantee you're going to find insane amounts of clips of people behind walls and then dying like a second and a half later. It is fucking embarrassing.
At the back of Live Fire, where there's like an indoor area, of a dude getting shredded, and he can't even see the person shooting him at any point. Like, you can hear the BR going off, but on his screen, the guy's like near that fucking like sandwich board or whatever. It's like outside that, I don't know the fucking call it. It's like near where like the OS is.
Yeah.
And you walk a little bit. There's like that flat wall.
Right.
The guy is standing there on his screen, just shooting through the wall and just gunning him down when he's on like the fucking 3 plot.
I'd throw my fucking controller. Yeah. I'd be going crazy.
Yeah. But what are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna have to geo-filter.
Yeah. If you want to stay relevant and actually compete for a job, you have to do it, because they don't give you the option to.
I would have to buy a house in Virginia to get like next to a server, or I would have to fucking geo-filter.
Yeah.
One of the two. And even if I geo-filter, I still am gonna
only
have more
get
desync than anyone else in the game.
You can only get so much. Yeah. So
I don't get any help.
Yeah.
So.
No, they don't want to give it out because, and here's the thing. If 343 is watching this and they're like, oh shit, how do we fix this? If you're genuinely wondering, this is how it goes, right? You got 60 hertz servers, right? Nope. So you're not having that issue of desync based off of the server hertz. Now, if it was Call of Duty Warzone where it's like a 22 hertz server, yeah, upgrading to 60 might fix those things. But no, this is like he's talking about a lag compensation issue in the netcode itself. It's not the hardware. It's your fucking programmers, and you need to hold them accountable. Because if they don't do their job, this game is not going to be considered competitive. You're competing against Valorant right now. You're competing against fucking Fortnite. You're competing against Counter-Strike. Fucking 3 titans. You think you're a fucking titan, Halo? You think you're a fucking titan, 343 Industries? You can't even maintain 80,000 player pop. Don't even. Like you need to fucking humble yourself and fix this shit. And I'm saying that in the most respectful, I'm holding myself back so hard right now. I'm trying to say this in the most respectful way possible. But the reason that people like us are so upset is because we grind this shit 30 to 40 hours a week. We spend just as much time, some people more time in game than you do working on the game. Just remember that. We know this game better than you sometimes. Put the fucking ego down. Before we fucking hit you with the RRBX quad, Ked. Sorry.
If they want a fix that would work, like as like a stopgap, you could just do what 1.6 and Quake 1, I think, for a while did, where they just had like a hitbox that's sort of just like a big square around the player, and the head's just like this part.
Yes, just like Bean Wars.
That is not a good solution. However, that like a little bit extra time, right, before your cursor is off the fucking player model or whatever, would actually solve the problem until they actually fix the lag.
That is a real patch fix. Yeah. That is a real patch fix. It's like a little Band-Aid, and then you go in and the fucking dev team sews it up or whatever in the meantime while it's fixed.
To put in that Halo 3 shit with like the good fucking lag compensation. While they do that, just make the hitboxes
just
a
like
little bit bigger,
even if it's
so
just
they
a
trail
fucking
little bit
season,
more.
even if it's just for a few weeks, it would dramatically improve. I would probably play it again. Because after I threw this LAN, I was like, oh man, this looks so fucking fun. Everyone's on LAN. Like there was no desync. There was no any of those issues because we're all on a local server. It was so good. It looked fun. For the first time I watched Infinite in real life, I was like, holy fuck, people are actually having fun and I'm having fun watching this. And then like I go and watch some clips online on Twitter the next day. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to fucking touch this thing. Like if I go and boot this up right now, this is what I'm going to fucking get? No, I'd rather wait till Sunday when everyone's in here and I maybe play with a few friends on LAN. Like we fucking used to do. Excuse me.
For sure.
Let's move on. This is pissing me off.
You had one good night with Infinite, and then you woke up the next day and you rolled over and you looked on the side of your bed and he's like, I'm not gonna touch that.
There's no. I wake up. There's no G0atman. Infinite's all shitty looking again. I dropped this motherfucker off at the airport like 4:30 in the morning. I get home at like 5:30, and I'm just like, oh my god. I fell asleep in my clothes. I was fucking tired.
That was a hell of a fucking plane trip home, man.
God, I can only imagine.
I was fucking exhausted.
But you're irritated and shit, having to go through TSA and all that.
Yeah.
God damn.
Oh my god.
He's still feeling it. Look, he's got his shades on right now.
Yeah.
Still hungover.
This is what happens when you stare at a fucking a screen for fucking 20 years, man. You burn your fucking retinas out.
That's what you get when you hit the 500,000 kill mark in MCC.
Glasses when I was a kid, all right?
Yeah, right?
These are raw eyeballs.
Anyway, how deep are we right now? We're what, 56 minutes? All right, we're doing good. So let's move on to the next topic here. We talked about the LAN. We talked about HCS. Let's talk about MCC. Now, MCC, surprisingly, is actually getting updates still more frequently than Halo Infinite. And I don't know if you guys have been noticing, but they've been doing playlist rotations. They've been doing all kinds of stuff in terms of MCC's game types. Now, the one thing, if they're still working on it, the one thing I want, I know I might be asking a lot, but damn, could we maybe, just maybe, get a server browser for Halo 2? You know, I know it's asking a lot, but if you want to get people off of Cartographer, because, you know, they consider Cartographer a threat.
Why don't they have a custom game browser for Halo 2? Like, I don't understand.
They don't know how to program it.
Well, what the fuck
It's actually in Halo 2 Vista by default, though. You can just reskin it.
But they don't know how to port it. There's probably a bug, and David's sitting there like, oh, jeez, like just like hella lost, like just sitting there like fucking confused about what he's looking at.
It's a fucking custom game. That's all it is. It's an open custom game for people to join. That's all it really is.
I know, but it's asking a lot.
Dude, you know how sick that would be if I could just fucking have a browser going for FFA?
Yeah.
And I don't have to play with the same fucking kids on my friends list every day. I can play with new people. Holy shit! Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, have you seen
It could be a neutral host. Why can't we buy servers like Counter-Strike allows you to and host your own fucking servers on neutral host? Like G0at can still get his server right next to his house and like just have that as the host server instead of him. Like whatever, like we have these capabilities but I would pay $40 a month gladly for 120 fucking tick rate Halo 2 private server. Yes, I would. Ked.
You gotta pay your monthly dues.
You want to get money? Don't sell skins, sell servers. Watch. You can pay me later for the idea.
Yeah, no shit.
God.
Subscription to a premium server.
Coming from a guy, I used to fucking, through these hands, man, I've managed a lot of fucking money working at the weed place. I know what big money and the pressure feels like. Just do it. Trust me. It'll work. You're worried about, we need to sell more HCS skins. No. Private servers. That's what your community wants. And make sure that the net code is fucking good. You do that, you'll make a fucking fortune. You don't even have to design anything. The server's already there. You just rent the port. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? We got a whole staff of fucking 20 designing like pineapples to go on your fucking Spartan, but we can't have like a staff of one dude smoking a cigarette in a server room, just like, you know, porting things in for people so they can, you know, have a smooth experience. What are we doing?
No, we need cat ears. That's what we need.
We need cat ears, and we need punk rock cyberpunk spikes. And it's like, you know, a lot of these guys, they think like, oh yeah, once I get this, like I'll look intimidating and then I'll get more kills. No, shitter. Sorry, but I hate to be so fucking blunt, but bro, like I've grinded these fucking games and cried missing so many multis to be fucking nerfed down and like have this game downplayed into a fucking skin fest, man. I want to be able to get in a BR fight with somebody and have that dance. Remember the dance? I remember the dance. What's the dance now? Fucking, just fucking, what is this? Like we're just crouch strafing now? We might as well add prone and have people drop shotting. Like, come on, man. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I wouldn't mind.
How much do you guys subscribe to the idea of like intentional sabotage at Xbox? Where Xbox Division's just a tax write-off for Microsoft?
Yeah.
So they just fuck up on purpose?
Well, I think that was true for the last few years, but with this new acquisition, I think they're trying to compete with Tencent now, and they're actually starting to like worry a little bit because they're realizing, oh shit, this write-off might get bought by Tencent.
Yeah, maybe. But I guess it's entirely possible, but like...
That's the one thing. There's nothing like good old competition to get people's spurs fucking moving. Hopefully China can put some pressure top down and make Microsoft realize what the fuck they're doing.
Well, Microsoft would just get acquired if that was the case. Like, they would just get bought out. So I really don't. There's not really any kind of negative for people that are high up at Microsoft. I don't really get it. I don't subscribe to the idea that it's a write-off either. But I've heard a lot of people saying that, and some of the decisions.
Well, it's what it looks like when you see the work ethic.
When you especially look at like the playlists and shit.
Yeah.
Like there's shit that I was saying. I know that you see my tweets sometimes, Blake, but like I said like everything that needed to be fixed to make social actually playable in Infinite, like the day before the game came out, because I'd seen the playlist, and nothing happened. I was like, why the fuck are we playing like mid-war rules on Bazaar, which is like a long map on social? Why do we have like people sitting through multiple rounds of oddball on social? Why do we have all these issues? Mid-war fucking shit, like the 5 flags, is now not on Bazaar in social. It's fucking 3.
Yeah.
Like, all that kind of shit is changing. You have a Team Slayer only playlist. Like, why couldn't you have done that before the game came out? I could have told you that you're an idiot.
They didn't even test it. They just implemented it and expected it to work. Their head is so far up their own ass, they think they can reinvent the wheel for this game. They really do.
And then you look at like the playlists and shit in MCC, and they still don't really make sense. Like who is it? Like Legitsky and a couple other guys were campaigning for that Radar Dubs playlist to come back for Halo 3 because it actually has like player retention, because like the sandbox is super wide and everyone can enjoy it, the sweaty kids and the MLG guys and everything. Because like with 2 players, suddenly all the shit makes sense.
Yeah.
They keep removing it like every other week for this MS hardcore thing that just tanks the playlist.
Yep.
And now they've removed Halo 2 hardcore for Halo Reach hardcore, which was less popular than like the TU Halo Reach playlist. And the TU Halo Reach playlist had to be complained about to get put in after the Reach launch, like, because nobody wants to play fucking Halo Reach hardcore. All the Reach kids want to play fucking TU, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I don't.
And nobody in comp wants to play Reach, no Bloom, no Sprint. They want to play Halo 2 or Halo 3.
Halo Reach with no Bloom, no Sprint. I actually kind of liked watching it.
I like it. But I like Halo 2 and 3 better, you know?
Yeah, I'd rather play any other Halo than that shit still. And the Reach kids, like, I have no love for Halo Reach particularly, but like, the people that grinded the title update on Reach are actually fucking good at it. And why can't they enjoy their game the way that it was like made?
Yeah.
And be competitive at it. I played it with one of my friends who's like actually quite a big Reach kid, and I make fun of him for it all the time. But yeah, we were like slapping kids and shit. He seemed to be having a great time, and then they fucking removed it.
Let me ask you something, guys.
Yeah.
Is there a way to toggle, and maybe I haven't looked for this or not, because I don't really play like Halo 3 like that. Is there a way to toggle custom skins on and off for enemy teammates?
Yes.
Yeah,
However,
it's in the settings under accessibility, I think.
So basically, you don't have to see the enemy as like a fucking Skyrim character. Or
yeah,
something?
like me.
Yes.
I'm such a fucking asshole. I put on all the new shit.
Yeah, so you should see my guy, bro. I look like Lord.
Have you seen G0atmanjar0? He's a fucking bird man. He dressed up as a bird. He's like fucking flying around.
There's an option called
Imagine-
disable new customization that you can hit, and I especially recommend taking it off for fucking CE. That shit looks so bad with skins. Yeah. It's unreal.
So casual.
Running around like fucking tiger stripe warthogs and goddamn, you know, neon pink fucking, I don't know, the whole thing's crazy. But
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of glad that it's not like that for Halo 2, because I couldn't even take the game even halfway serious.
They were gonna do it. I have no idea why they didn't, because they had like
because they were afraid to touch Halo 2, man.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure somebody would have done something. Like a fucking 343 would have got like BX started in the parking lot or some shit if they did that. It would have been over quickly.
Oh my god! In Minecraft.
Yeah, of course.
In the simulation Minecraft,
they would have been BXR.
Yeah, the rebuild that we built in Java version.
Yeah. You have to use Bedrock Edition to do it. It's complicated. It's complicated.
It's really hard. You gotta. It's a lot of files you gotta rearrange. I was gonna say something. It was when it comes to the MCC updates and everything in terms of playlist rotation. Why is the skill-based matchmaking so much heavier in ranked than it is on social? Now, when I go in social, yeah, don't get me wrong, I have some shitters on my team if I'm solo queuing. But if I go into ranked solo queue, holy fucking shit. The people are like, oh, why don't you go play ranked? Go play ranked. I'm like, dude, have you ever solo queued rank? Like, this kid has no thumbs on my team in social, and he's better than those guys in there. It's insanity. And then there's people that freak out. They're like, oh, why are you searching with a 4-box in social? Why are you searching with a 4-box? And it's like, Go and I make this point a lot. And it's like, why the fuck are you getting upset for people on a team playing a team playlist? Now, I get it if you're like going into free-for-all altogether and then you're ganging up on somebody. Okay, yeah, that's bullying. But yeah. Don't sit here and get upset because people like Goat and I and, other people in the community too run 4-boxes. You know why we run 4-boxes? Because shitters like you get on our team and we can't have a team shot. Like, and there's nothing more frustrating than playing Halo for 15 years, knowing every correct move to make on the board, and then like you just see some dude just throwing the chess pieces into the center of the fucking river on Beaver Creek. Like it's oh my God. Yeah. They need to go back.
Kids looking at your team, spawn, run out and die,
dolphin dive right in the center.
Go 0 and 20. Realize that you're still winning. You're dropping like 35 kills and you're still winning. And then so they're like, fuck it, I'll just start shooting him too. So now you got the guy on your team shooting you in the back and the other team shooting you. Everyone wants to see you lose on both sides.
Yeah.
Even though the guy's trying to throw the game, like, it's crazy, bro.
Skill-based matchmaking in social especially doesn't even make any sense, right? Because the way that it assigns. So first of all, I don't know if people. Well, 343 employees don't, so I'll explain this right now. Halo 3 social had 5 players on each team.
Yep.
So the map was like overloaded. It was just like a shit fuck. You could just walk around. You could shoot fusion coils and launch yourself and try to get snipes. Like,
oh, it's fun as fuck.
Quit, it was still a 4v5. It was fun as fuck. And it was actually like a social environment. Everyone's on the proxy chat.
Yeah.
Having a good time. Now, when you queue social, you're literally just queuing ranked, sometimes without a BR.
Yeah.
Because you have an invisible rank. You have 4 people on your team.
Yep.
And you have like a ranked shit, and you can run into 4-boxes. So why are you not just running a 4-box?
I think they need to bring the 5-man back. I'd be hitting way more clips.
System also does too is like me. Like I played a lot of Halo.
Do you?
He's like, do you?
I played a few games of Halo, and I'm positive. I think my KD is like positive, like 400,000, right? So what the system does is they go, okay, it does a quick math equation. It goes, okay, this red team over here is this average, and blue team over here, okay, there's this guy that's plus 400,000. So let's put the negative 50,000 guys or 20,000 guys on his team, and I'll get like 3 negative 50,000 guys. But because I'm the plus 400,000, like that's going to be enough to average out the team, because it does an algorithm of like what the average KD, what your average wins, and everything. And so I'll go in, and it'll be like a team of 4, full setup, and me and 3 shitters on my team that are just crab walking out into the fucking open and just dying. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know? And so people are like, and then so I played with a couple of my friends, we just started dominating, and then people are like, oh no, oh boo-hoo, Goatman's playing with people. I can't win now. Like, you're trash.
Fucking
like,
tough.
well,
Fucking make your own 4-box.
Hey man,
Yeah, tough to make your own 4-box, but also complain to fucking 343. They made you do it.
Yeah.
They made social ranked. Complain to them for you playing ranked. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they made it ranked. They made it so it can't be social. I never get anybody I know on my team, and I know everybody. Like, I never get anybody. It's like, all I get is the fucking the Game Pass kids. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you lose to some like 3-box or whatever when you're solo queuing, and then they're just like, oh wow, I did it. Oh, good.
If they want to do,
I'm taking a screenshot.
Hashtag I be good, man.
Because they average all the ranks together, right? If they use like a median rank system where it's like one player on each team is like the average, and then like one better and two worse or something, maybe that could. But there just shouldn't be skill-based matchmatchmaking in fucking social
At all. It should be random. You should be able to meet people. There should be
something stupid. It should be like 5v5, but it can dynamically go down to like 3v3.
There should be a randomizer.
And all the games should just like it should actively encourage you to do weird shit. Your mic should automatically be on if you queue social a lot. Like,
do you know another thing?
Make it fucking social.
Do you know another thing that would make social more social?
Proximity chat.
If somebody quits your game, somebody can join your game.
Hey, why not? Why not? It's not ranked. Keep the fucking lobby full.
Yeah, keep the lobby full. I'm so fucking tired of shooting one guy with the snipe at Sanctuary, and he's like, oh, quit. I died once, quit, and then there's one guy left who's crouching with a shotgun and like back shotgun, like, I hope I don't die 50 times. I hope they don't find me 50
times. That poor last guy doesn't know he's not going to get a ban if he quits because his other teammates quit. God forbid 343 makes that like one of the little tool tips when you're loading up the game is like, hey, if half your team quits, you can quit with no ban. No, just leave people in the fucking dark at bottom shotgun freaking out. You know?
I mean, we have that text chat thing. Why can't you have a prompt saying that says, hey, 2 people quit on your team, it's a 4v2, you can quit with no ban.
Or even a forfeit button.
A team concede button in social would be good. The best thing that they could do.
Rocket League has it, for fuck's sakes.
Yep. Dota has it. Yep. Every game has it.
Why is this such fucking new technology ideas for 343? How have they not implemented this?
The way that Halo 3 did the quitting as well was actually better too in social, because if you quit, you would lose EXP, but you wouldn't get timed out. So you would get punished statistically, but it wouldn't drop the population. What they have now is you quit and you just get timed down.
Time banned. That's it.
Playing the game.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Look, 343. Go get us a boardroom. Top 50 players who actually know their shit in MCC. Pound of weed, pound of cocaine on the table, and give us a weekend. Just lock us in and just throw away the key for a weekend, and then come back in 2 days and a few boxes of pizza. We'll have your whole fucking game fixed.
Quick.
Get a couple girls. Need a couple girls.
I'm just in there building brackets on a huge whiteboard, just fucking chalkboard. Looks like a goddamn. Goat's doing a video lesson plan that like introduces new players when they first load up the game. Fucking Uncut Fighters reprogramming the fucking netcode over in the corner, like smoking a cigarette, just fucking dialed in. You know, it'd be the best weekend of my life.
What's the thing, right? Like, so all these other games, Halo fucking wants to have this whole like content creation ecosystem. They're hiring people that are like influencers and shit, basically just paying them to say good things about the game because there's not really much good to say about the game. And they just pay all these dick riders, right? I don't know how fucking good we are at like naming names and shit, but
they don't pay them to say it. But if they want to continue getting paid, they have to say it. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but they're paying them to say it then. Like there's no fucking difference. It's like if you buy a politician like 1 million cards and give them like $400,000.
Here's the heartbreak. I'm not gonna name names, but I know a few grassroots partners that don't like the direction things are going in, and they're not vocal about it. But we've talked, so it's To me, it's like, hey man, that's why I don't work for 343. But I digress.
So there's people, right? That I'm sure everyone knows. I always talk about Hardaway because I think that he would be like a perfect hire for 343 because he's like really nice. He doesn't shit talk that much, and he's extremely knowledgeable about like every Halo game. You'll see him playing all the shit, including like H2A, right?
Yeah.
He has these amazing video guides on CE about like how the spawn system works. Where
Yeah,
you can random
I've seen them.
because nothing in CE is bullshit. All the other Halo games have like
Little
there's
bit of
some level
RNG.
obfuscation.
Just a little
Yeah,
bit.
the system dictates spawns and shit.
Yeah.
CE has none of that.
Yeah,
you
it's
can
all
spawn
raw.
your teammate wherever you want. All the weapons come up at the same times, right?
Yep.
So he made these great guides. It's like, now I know that I can jump on like the top grave on like the blue base on Hang 'em High and random my teammate when I'm playing like 2v2 and shit. Really great spawn guides. Why the hell is that not in MCC? Like, just give him $500. He'll redo the videos in HD, and you can just like watch them, and then you won't have your teammates fucking like standing red shotgun, repeatedly spawning you there and getting you killed.
You know what? I think you just inspired me to do a little Team Zodiac how-to fucking intro to MCC series. I think I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah, he could do that for, you know, Hardway could do it for every fucking Halo game. Because he knows, like,
I mean,
every one.
On my stream, I have, like,
yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck I call it. Learning with Go.
Are we learning, chat?
Yeah, you do the shit where you're like, are we learning now, chat, where you're doing, like, the fucking, like, grenade penetration zones, and you're fucking, all that shit on, like, not lockout, fucking midship, right? Where you can kill people with the plasmas. Shit that you can jump off of on, like, lockout that maybe people that are new or like intermediate level don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
there's
that,
a lot
that
of people I know. There's a lot of people I know that have been like, I've been playing this game just it released and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like,
just the other day we were talking about if your feet aren't on the floor, you don't block the spawns over at S2. So you could fucking jump on the ledges and actually force people into God spawn and just, you know, run the cycle on them.
Yeah.
I was like, I can make you spawn facing me right in front of me, and like right off spawn, I'm staring right at you with a sniper or with a sticky.
That's how I hit my RRBX quad, Jaro.
But the thing is you hear people all the time go, "Oh my God, the spawns are so broken." I'm like, the spawns are broken. You're just standing on the goddamn tables, and the guys spawn behind you, and you're like, "Oh, fix your game 343." It's like, no, you don't understand how the game is played. Like, you don't even know how spawns work.
You were jumping, kid.
Now, the reason why some people do say.
You're jumping.
Some people do say that MCC spawns are fucked to those because they're Halo 3 players, and the spawns on Halo 3 are actually fucked.
Yes, they are. If you've
ever been standing top gold on Guardian in doubles, a guy will literally spawn behind you and instantly backsmack you. Like that is not.
It's rigged. It's rigged.
The spawns were bad in Halo 3, but like they were not that fucked up.
No, they've rigged it.
Yeah. They did change the spawns mid MCC.
Yes. I didn't know that until I started watching G0atman. Did they change the spawns on the Halo 2 Vista version?
Yeah, they changed the spawns mid MCC like a few years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. They changed the spawn system. And before, if you were on Sanctuary and you had your feet planted on the ground, and if you're on your half of the map, as long as you had one person with their feet planted on the ground on your half of the map, they would not
never spawn on your side. Yeah, then they started flipping spawns.
Yeah, they
took the Call of Duty approach.
The tolerance for spawn flipping, you have to have way more of that part of the map covered in order to indefinitely block that spawn.
Yep.
So yeah, you need like 2 people back there covering more ground now. That way the algorithm forces them on, keeps them on the other side.
Hey, what's up, Alex? I see you in the chat.
There's other shit too, like when fucking like weapons come up and shit. A lot of people that play Halo a lot just kind of like aimlessly wander around the map and like they don't want to play ranked or they don't want to play against like 4-boxing because they can't control when the weapons show up. But if you tell, like, one of my friends didn't play CE, that I fucking hate playing the Gearbox CE and MCC, by the way, but like I play it occasionally. And I was showing him like, no, dude, like the fucking OS on Damnation comes up every minute. And you can just make this nade jump and you can get it like all the time, and you have to fight every minute because you have to get the OS. And suddenly we start doing better and he enjoys the game more.
Yeah.
You know, on Halo 2, like, when somebody picks up the sniper rifle, they have to burn it and like drop it, and now it's on respawn.
That's that. Side note, fun. I was telling you, fun side note. Ascension's a really good example. Small tower spawn is static and always does it, but big tower spawn is based on drop. So even the spawns in the same map can have different attributes, and that just takes game knowledge and time to really fully understand.
But every tower and you have sniper, it'll respawn even if you're holding it.
It's static, it's static.
Yeah.
So it's like if you understand those two concepts of static versus drop, like the game plays so much, it just clicks.
Yeah, even on Halo 3, which everyone seems to play all the fucking time, it's like
those are static on MLG.
Yeah, yes they are. But people don't know like to fight for rockets at like -3 minutes 50 seconds. Yeah.
854, 550, 547. If you're playing online, because it adds 3 seconds of delay. No, see, I can get so nerdy with this shit.
Yeah, so you know roughly when the weapons are coming up, and you know how to fight like at Rocket Hall or whatever on the pit, and people don't know that. So
do you guys know the time of overshield on Ivory Tower?
It's every minute
Not gonna feel like
15.
I do.
It's 1 minute and 21 seconds.
Ah, 20. Fuck, I thought it was 15. God
I
damn
thought
it.
it was like 120 fucking 7 or some shit.
It must,
121.
hold on. It must be 121 online, 115 on land. No.
Yeah. No, but it's 121 on pickup. So as I pick up the overshield, I don't call when I pick it up.
You say when it's going to be up.
Yep.
I say when it's going to respawn.
Yep.
Because people that I play with, you know, they can't walk and chew gum. Not everybody, but like a lot of people that play. Like you got to tell them, like, because if you're like, all right guys, I picked up here minus 1 minute 21 seconds, people are gonna be like, You know, so I just do the math for them, and I'll be like, hey, at this time it's gonna pick up.
And it's like we pick it up so consistently at the same time that we've kind of already memorized those cycles because we're always on top of it whenever it comes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But see, you're playing Beaver Creek. It's on 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
I was gonna say
flat.
that exactly 60-second flat.
Static. You got to get it. Yeah.
The reason why
that's why we just call out the number. So we'll be like, oh, 35, 12, you know, and we'll just say the number. Is like if anybody on stream members hears us yell out a number when we pick out overshield, we're actually saying what second it's going to be back on respawn.
Yes.
So, yeah.
A lot of people, there's a lot of these little intricacies that made classic Halo defined as classic Halo. Whereas now we have visual representatives of, you know, little floating objects in front of us twirling on the screen telling us when the rockets are going to be up. We have all these little helpful hints that they introduced. What?
I said it takes away your thinking, your critical thinking.
Yes.
You know,
it dulls the mind.
Spanker, rockets are up.
Yeah, like the little fucking AI chirping in your ear.
Yeah,
like it's fucking Coach Gandhi or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I always tell people, I was like, there's two kinds of Halo players. There's people who play checkers and there's people who play chess.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, your checkers players are the guys who are in their Lazy Boy with their Mountain Dew and their Doritos and their
AR beatdowns
on their 70-inch TV with hell delay, and they're just sitting there running and grabbing the gun and shooting the first thing they see. That's checkers. And I was like, then you have chess players, and chess players are the ones that don't think about their immediate move, but the next 3 moves after that. Like, when you die, where the enemy's going to respawn, when to push, when to pull back, when to control weapons, when to control power-ups. And a lot of that stuff is being taken away with all the guidance that you're getting from these modern Halos. It takes away your critical thinking. I mean, we've even gone as far as, like, say we're controlling overshield, and I know that the enemy knows what time the overshield's going to pop. I'll stand by the overshield for like 15 seconds to throw the timer off. That way they don't know when the next overshield time is.
Yep.
And then I'll grab OS. But instead of pushing right out with OS, because they're like, oh, he just left OS and it was about 40 seconds.
Yeah.
I'll grab OS and I'll hide
in that little cubby
OS for like 10 seconds and wait, just so nobody sees
and
me.
show.
So it didn't show, because then they're like, damn, I really don't know what time he left there at 40, but it's 40 now and it's not there. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So like,
and then you pre-nate him.
There's mind games like that you can play in Halo. They're like next level that most people don't think about.
HP Darkman was a master of that, just as a side note.
Oh yeah.
If you look at his old VODs, 1v1ing the ogres and stuff, oh, he'd bait the fuck out of those power-ups.
Yeah, or like, say you got sniper on Beaver Creek, right? And the sniper's burnt. Well, instead of dropping the sniper while it's burnt, put it in your back pocket.
Just hold it.
Have your VR and hold it, and just don't die.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna keep rushing up the sniper looking for. Yeah, because it spawns every 15 seconds, so they're gonna be up there like, "Where's the sniper? Where's the sniper?" And you just keep picking them off with the rockets. You're like, "Hey, rocket guy, keep taking that guy out," and you stay alive with this dead sniper in your back pocket. You control the game. Same thing with lockout.
Yep.
If you're playing a really sweaty game chat, and you dump your whole sniper, and you're playing a really good team, and you don't want to risk losing that lead, put it in your back pocket and hold window and try not to die, and then you control the game, because they have to push you, they have to take you out in order to put the sniper on respawn.
Back on rotation, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just getting so nerdy and I'm loving it. It's
but
just
that kind of shit though that we're talking about is not effectively conveyed to like new Halo players. So what they'll do is they'll start playing the shit. Like fucking Halo, I've always said is like a tactical kind of Quake, right?
Yeah.
You're playing Quake, and it's like Slate fucking arena, like Damnation looks like a fucking Quake map. For
Yeah.
God's sakes, right? Like you're playing literally a Quake game, but it's slowed down with like elements like Perfect Dark. You're like reloading and playing objectives and stuff,
Right.
in more of like a Counter Strike or GoldenEye or Perfect Dark kind of way. And that's what it always was like. And people play that shit, and it's like that kind of game is not popular anymore. And there's no help for them. And I'm not saying that you need to hold their hand and be like, no, it can be really good and be like super soft with people, but there should be some way to like tell people like there's more layers to this than just getting your head fucking blown off 100 times on Sanctuary.
Yeah.
Like you can be good. You just have to open that door like a little bit.
I'm gonna write this down to do this video series.
They have these fucking message of the day things on MCC, and they have these like HCS creators and stuff on these like live streams, and they've even gone as far as like showing gameplay of like Halo 3 MLG on these Infinite streams and stuff, and yet they just seem to not want to show people that there's like a greater skill to the older Halo games. I don't know why. It's just weird to me.
Yeah, all these newer kids come into these old games. They're like, "Ew, look at this! It's all boxy. This is like Nintendo graphics. What the fuck? Who would play this?" And I'm like, this has so many layers to this onion. You have no idea. I was like, you look at these modern shooters and their face value. They tell you when the fucking rockets are gonna be there. They tell you where to stand. They tell you where to look. For God's sakes, with these fucking sheets they got, they fucking shoot the goddamn game for you now. You know?
There's so many polygons. There's so much shit all over the map. Like in classic Halo, you could bank a nade off of pretty much any wall in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, nowadays it's like there's fucking shutters and like bananas and shit coming out. Like it's just fucking
wires.
Yeah, there's a chicken. Yeah, it's a fucking. There's like these weird ass fucking rat things.
Imagine being in a VR fight and having a nade shot someone and you bank a nade and it hits a fucking chicken. And it fucking blows up at your fucking feet. I would like uninstall.
Yeah, gone. See ya. I'm going back to H2.
Yeah, you know what we need, guys? We need to add a chicken. That's what we need.
Oh, that'd be so cute.
we should give the chicken cat ears.
Go do it. Don't say that. You've now put that idea in the void. Oh man.
Give the chicken cat ears and a wolf tail. That's what we need.
Oh my fucking god.
They will for an event.
How many 343 employees show up with those little like raccoon tails connected to their belt, like those weirdo dudes from Hot Topic back in the day? How many of those guys were those guys? Like how many people do you think walk into that office that used to be in like the Yu-Gi-Oh circle? Like
or the HR department, sorry.
What happened is those guys grew up and they became game developers.
Yeah, this is like everyone's in the quad, like walking to lunch like this.
All those.
And then here they come out of class.
Dude, Blake, all those mall ninjas became the new game developers for this generation.
I know, dude. It's pissing. Like, it makes me want to get into game development just to go fucking. But they'll never hire me because of my personal beliefs. I know it. And I'm not changing to fucking do that.
You'd be surprised. Some of the guys that were working on like Brave Browser and stuff.
Oh no, I meant at 343.
Like weird. Oh yeah. No, you'd never work at 343.
Never. They would never.
There's been a couple times I've worked on a lot of like mapping projects and stuff in the past, and I've wondered like, how hard really would it be to make some kind of like pseudo-competitive like arena shooter?
Are we gonna
that's
do
at least
this?
better than.
Are we gonna do this?
Something.
Are we gonna do this right now?
Dr. Disrespect's doing it. We should go apply. See if he'll fucking take us in.
I've actually considered applying to 343 a few times because like all the playlists and shit. Clearly, there's a guy who just playlists for a job. And if you just gave me his job, it would be fixed. So,
hey, listen.
But he's our friend. No.
The problem is this: yes, you could probably go become a developer. Yes, you could probably get hired by 343. But do you really think your ideas are going to make it on the final cut floor? They're not.
I don't know because the people whose jobs
if they get desperate enough, they'll listen to me.
Losing a shitload of money
because the big wigs at the very top are going to be like, oh, we need to cut this. This isn't part of our narrative. They have a certain agenda of what they're going through, and the only way to circumnavigate that is to touch a little bit on what you said just 2 seconds ago. And I wanted to go there, but I wasn't going to go there, but now I'm going to go there.
Go for it.
And that is, and this sounds like a far-fetched idea, but what if in another dimension,
in Minecraft,
all of the fucking kids that we know that actually know the classic Halos all came together with some developers, and we created a new arena shooter that had everything that we wanted in it and had nothing of what we don't. Because nowadays, you don't have to have a big developer. You can throw your shit on Steam. We can throw our game on Steam. We don't have. There's people who make fucking third-party games all the time. You don't need $1 billion behind you. You just
and a
need lot of
publisher,
hard
yeah.
fun. Yeah, you don't need a huge publisher. We don't need this to actually hit console. The console game is kind of dead. Everyone's like going to PC for gaming. So you technically don't even need your own proprietary system to run the game. All you need is the Steam network to put it online. And so what if we just got all the best players and all the best minds and put them all together and we created that old school arena shooter with a modern touch to it, you know? And
You know how easy that would be to like formulate though, like to map that out? Like we already know how to do it.
Yeah, we don't need the lore, we don't need campaign, we don't need to spend all this time on backstory. Just get right to the fucking. We don't need foreplay. Right to the fucking.
You're able.
Right?
You can use any color you want to customize your Spartan without spending money. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, when I was in school,
straight up arena shooter, man. Something like Quake, something like CE, something like H2. You know, something like fucking Unreal, like something like Doom. We take an element of all of these, we put it together, and we create these arena shooters that's fast paced, high skill gap, no fucking holding your hand, no white glove treatment. You get rewarded. You know how you get rewarded by fucking people up on the game.
Yeah.
You know, you want something that's hard to get, you got to get good, kid, or else you're not getting shit.
Can we talk about mechanics since we're on this topic real quick? I wanted to bring something up here.
Go ahead.
So Halo's always known for the big three. You got your shot, you got your grenade, you got your melee. Those are your, unless you're talking Halo 5 with ground pound, Spartan charge, and all that other weird shit. But the core formula of Halo has always been the big three. That's your arsenal. It's your triangle of damage, right? Now, what happens if you fuck with one area of the triangle? The other two are going to get affected just as much because you're taking away or like moving things around. Here's my problem with modern Halo. This is the biggest issue I have because most people play in this range, but the close range on Halo is a fucking joke. Halo 3 and onward was a fucking disgrace to competitive close range combat. And here's why. I have a video detailing this and all this shit, and I've said it a million times, but those that haven't heard it, here's how it goes. Let's say I'm on Halo 2, right? And I'm aiming at somebody, right? I'm aiming right at their head. If they crouch and my aimer ain't on their body, I'm gonna melee and it's gonna whiff and go over their head. I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna get punished for missing. What do we have when we look at Halo 3 and onward? Oh, no right stick input, no right stick input. They take your aim, and if somebody crouches, they redirect it for you with no right stick input, and then you hit it. And it'll redirect your fucking gun down onto the enemy. Same with the jump. It'll recorrect in both Y-axis and your X-axis. Call of Duty's even worse. It goes 180 fucking degrees of correction with melee. Now, that's a fucking problem in on its own. But with Halo, what made Halo competitive in Halo 1 and 2 was the triangle of damage was hard to get your kills with. The 3-shot pistol, you gotta be accurate. The nades, you gotta know your fucking nade bounces. The fucking melees, you have to be on the fucking target on both Halo 1 and Halo 2. You had to be on.
Because we had to drag the beat down to them, you know?
Yep.
You can't just fucking just melee.
Now, Halo 2 has a little bit of... It has a little bit of correction, but it only registers that on the lunge. It doesn't change your overall fucking hit detection. It doesn't re-aim onto the player. It just kind of drags you near it. You're going to miss still.
If anything, you'll get punished because you'll lunge at them, and if you miss your melee, you'll just throw your body into them, and then they'll beat you
back smack,
down.
Or your back's to them because you flew through them or whatever. Like there's all these punishment factors that go into play. Now, maybe don't make the lunge as long as Halo 2. But if they can patch this in Infinite, it will save their fucking damage triangle. Because right now, every close range fight online ends in a fucking trade. There's no unless you ninja somebody that doesn't have thumbs, you can have any weapon in the game, and if you're in a close range fight with somebody, unless they have the mangler, you're gonna fucking trade, and it's gonna be a zero sum. It's the dumbest, most non-competitive fucking setting that's ever been introduced to Halo, and nobody's talking about it as much as they should be. But this game, if you're gonna have look at this, Halo 3. I used to have a joke back in the day. We used to be like, oh yeah, these Halo 3 tards, because they'd run around with ARs and just fucking slam into each other and just fucking die like over and over and over. Maybe somebody had a little bit better connection and won one of those 20 fights, and then they win the game. You know, like it's so brain dead.
It feeds the narrative though, because they're trying to make the average gamer, the casual gamer, a badass. And the thing is
you're not a badass for fucking running at each other on Snowbound and then flipping back.
You have to change your mentality and put yourself in like a bad kid's like mind, right? I
have a bad kid.
We were there. I was there 15 years ago. I remember. You know what I did? I went in the fucking octagon and I went on free for all money comp and got my ass fucking kicked and sharpened my blade.
You know, in their head, you know what a bad kid thinks though? Is they're like, yeah, you got me, but I got you too.
It's like
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, bro. Dude, I played kids online, and I've been going like 25-0, right? Yeah. And then some kid at the last second will kill me, and he'll type in the chat, "Got you," smiley face.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, bro, you just lost 50-2, and you're happy you got one kill on me, because their mentality is, yeah, you may have got me, but I got you too.
We're even. We're equally skilled.
I got you too. No, I know it doesn't make sense.
That's what they think.
But you have to put your head into their psyche. It's at least and the thing is this, with this melee system, they love it because it lets the fucking totally bad kid just throw a Hail Mary pass and just swing at you and get a random kill. And he's like, yeah, I'm still in the game. Yeah, I'm still a badass. Yeah, I've still got what it takes.
Why isn't it? Why isn't it as easy to aim?
It's fucked up. It's a fucked up way of thinking, I know. But I'm just saying, like, you gotta, like, yeah.
Think about it. Like, the melee alignment onto players, you don't see that kind of alignment when people are trying to BR in game. Why is the assisted melee easier to run than the fucking gun actual tracking on players? The heavy aim in Infinite is fucking insane. It is insane how bad they've programmed the aim. We talked about this on a previous podcast, but if you don't know, the person that designed this game is only experienced in VR gaming. They've like the lead that does all this shit for like the actual mapping of controls and shit of how the game interacts with controllers doesn't have experience with controllers. It runs smooth on M&K, but at the competitive level, when most players play on controller, when the game was designed mathematically for controller gameplay.
Yeah, so let me give you a weird anecdote, because I know in a previous podcast you were like, it's very smooth on mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
I imagine the computer you were testing that on had like a 3080 or some shit.
2080.
I'm running like a 3600 and like a 1070 Ti, which is like medium.
Did you take off the in the property settings under Steam? Did you take off the textures?
Yes.
Shit.
Yeah,
still?
I have everything disabled.
Wow.
Okay. And I'm supposed to be able to have like medium, and I've looked up like videos and shit of people playing the games. It's like exactly the same as me, right? Like 80 FPS, but it can go up and down a little bit. Most other games that I play, even if it's going up and down in terms of like frame rate, like Hunt Showdown is horribly optimized, and I play that shit all the time. When I move my mouse, yeah, it does like speed up and slow down a little bit if I drop from like 60 to 40, but it's still like very doable for me. Mm-hmm. And then you have games like CS 1.6 and Half-Life 2 and stuff that I used to play a lot, where the mouse, even if I was having frame drops, would move at like a consistent speed.
Yes.
I don't know how they did that fucking wizardry. It doesn't make any sense to me, but they did it. Because I guess like somehow in the background the polling rate adjusts and it feels relatively smooth still. On Infinite, my frame rate goes so crazy at times that my mouse is like speeding up and slowing down, and I'm like, I can't hit anything.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm drunk and high on crack.
That's
like,
also on controller too.
Play.
It does that. Bo talks about that whenever he's on here too, about his the frame rate being indicative of the hitboxes of the game, because he knows muscle memory wise, you know, but the game it like lags out and it like throws the aim over here.
There's like a 90% chance that he actually hit them.
Yeah.
Like maybe more. Like that's ridiculous.
How dumb are we gonna go in terms of dumbing down the game is my real question. Like, how much worse
I have
can it get?
So if you guys both tried Infinite, do you have this feeling that when you're using the sniper, like the bullet comes out like before you want it to almost? Like when you're pulling your snipe like over somebody, like you're pulling it to the left or something over their head, when you fire, the bullet's like here. And their head is like here.
Yeah, you have to lead it. You have to lead it.
But like
it's very minimal, but you still have to lead it.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest.
But it's not. But CE has pretty exaggerated lead on the sniper, right? Halo 2 on MCC has actually a little bit of lead on the sniper, and Halo 3 has quite a lot of lead if you're on like Sandtrap.
Sandtrap, yeah,
but I
cross
can
map.
hit people fucking consistently in all of those games. Like Bloodshots and shit aside, like I will be on their body and I'll at least be close.
Well, the thing is, they understand how dominant the sniper's been in all Halo titles, and they're trying their damnedest. Like you got lead, and like I said earlier, you got Bloom on a sniper. Bloom.
How tiny the fucking bullet actually is relative to the reticle.
Yeah, so
that's the biggest
lead,
problem with me.
You got lead, you got Bloom, and you got blowback in your gun. So like your gun is kicking, it's blooming, and you have to lead it. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to nerf the sniper. They want you to start utilizing the other weapons in the sandbox.
Yeah.
And so they're taking
like the fucking Mangler. They just invented the noob combo for the dude. It's fucking pathetic.
Yeah, they're taking what's been always like the pinnacle of like weapons for Halo, and they're bringing them down and bringing up, like, I keep talking about the needler, man.
Yeah.
That shit will fucking shred you. Like, and I'm like, why do I even want to pick up a BR now? I should just walk around with goddamn needlers. You know, and like, what is this the world I want to live in? Is this the game I want to play?
Yeah.
What am I even doing here? You know?
Halo 3 had a good needler, but that's like, it didn't have as much tracking as Infinite's. Infinite's is just like the fire rate and the fucking compensation for aim is, oh my god.
Well, in Halo 4 and on, right? It's been like a power weapon.
Yeah.
Like better than the rocket launcher.
They use the needler on the Prometheus.
In Halo 3, they made it like kind of useful. In Halo 2 and 1, it's fucking useless.
Yeah.
But and then after Halo 3, it's just like, oh, you can get this like ordnance drop to you, and it's like better than any other weapon in the game.
God, right?
And then in 5, it was ludicrous and big team battle, and in Infinite, it's even stronger.
Yeah.
But if they want to make the sniper like less good, because the sniper in Combat Evolved is just like a melee weapon, or sorry, a Magnum alternative. Like it's just a ranged weapon alternative that's like a little bit better at range. It doesn't have as much magnetism as the pistol.
It has a slower lightning snipe.
You're taking everything that's coveted about Halo and making it fucking perverse. Yeah, look at the fucking. And we talked about this the other day, like the multiplayer. I mean, the multi-kill. You know, there's a guy. I forgot who you said, but there's a guy who got a kill apocalypse.
Played the Halo theme.
Picks up his fucking guitar, plays the goddamn Halo theme, puts his guitar down, and then gets a killionaire.
Picks up his controller and then finishes the clip. Like in all that time to continue the multi.
Like the window or something, it's like 6 or 7 seconds.
They add a second for every multi you get.
Yeah, so you have like 9-10 seconds to get a killionaire between a kill pock and a killionaire.
It's pathetic.
So now people are pulling killionaires out of their ass left and right now because it takes forever in a day to actually like have the timer run out. So like it used to be, if you got a nair, that was impressive, and now it's like you can just be walking around shooting people and just killionaire.
Shock rifle killionaire.
Yep. Exactly.
How many of those have we seen?
Yeah. So what's very hard to get is now easy to get. What's very hard to use is now easy to use. What's easy to use is now hard to. Everything is like flipped. Everything is flip flopped. They flipped it. It's a Halo, and they just flipped it on its head.
Just like the spawns in Halo 2.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's all these modern ideas, man. They're trying to reinvent the wheel when the wheel's working just fine,
It's like playing basketball, but now like 3-pointers are easy, and now like layups are hard.
Yeah, like you can't defend against someone going for a 3-pointer or some dumb shit, you know? Like that's like a new rule. Exactly. Oh my god.
Yeah. If you're beyond the 3-point line, no one can guard you. and now all of their whole team is around the rim.
By the way, COVID rules: stay 6 feet from each other.
Yeah, you guys checked into your Microsoft Health app for this podcast?
I don't know. Oh yeah, here.
Yeah, did you see that at the
I got it
at the HCS LAN? They had like the rules come out, and one of them was like you have to install the Microsoft Health Check app, and then put your medical files into it every day. Yeah, for the LAN. I'm not now. They might have backed off on it, but that just seems like screwy to me.
Oh, where's my health check picture here?
But to what you were saying, Go Man, like in past Halo games, like especially CE, the sniper became a power weapon. I mean, in the hands of the ogres in CE or whatever, where they just, like a shotgun just fuck people. It was absurd. But for like a less skilled player, sometimes it wasn't even worth picking up. A lot of the time, there's like 4 on a map, and they come up every like minute or 45 seconds or something, and it's like it's not that good. Whereas rockets were like insane. And then in Halo 2, it came out like
Halo
a power
rockets.
weapon shit. Yeah. It became like a power weapon to have the sniper rifle in Halo 2. It just became a lot better, and they removed like how crazy the rockets were to kind of facilitate that. But if they wanted to have sniping be less dominant, just have it so that the sniper is like the Halo 1 sniper. Not a lot of aim assist. There's like a bunch on the map. They come up all the fucking time, and rockets are better.
Yeah.
Like, there you go. And then the BR would be almost as good as the sniper, and it wouldn't be that crazy.
And then I guess you could take the kill time and either go back to the CE pistol, which I don't think they can really redo, because now like BR is now BR now is the pistol.
Yep.
I guess the pistol was just a BR 1.0.
Yep.
You could up the kill time, or God forbid, guys, they bring back button combos for the BR. God forbid.
Oh no! Oh God, no! Oh no!
Our new button combos. Wink, wink.
Yep.
God forbid that, man. God forbid making the game more dynamic.
Yeah, the thing that's really good about Halo CE and Halo 2, even Halo 3 on LAN to a degree, but to like a lesser degree, is that like you really have to play the person if you actually want to kill them. Every game since like Halo 3 Online, Halo 4 and shit, it's just like a lot of team shooting, a lot of like ticky-tack bullshit or something like that. Whereas on like Halo 2 or Halo C, if you drop your guard for like even a second, if you're like missing and the other person isn't, you're just fucking dead. Like there's just nothing. Like if you run to somebody and you mix your BXR, it's like now you're on the respawn screen. Enjoy it. Yeah. Whereas in like Halo Infinite, Halo 5, well, Halo 5...
You both died.
Yeah, you either both die or like you have to have like a bunch of team shots. You don't ever really crazy outplay a person. It's kind of stupid.
I found my health check app. I got it right here.
On Twitch, you guys gave me my next animation for Twitch. I'm gonna take two emotes and have them running at each other, and then like melee and then fall back.
It's the animated one. It's the fucking trade animation.
Yeah, I'll do a mirrored version of like a blue and a red guy, so right next to each other, so they melee and
both fall at the same time. Like, yeah. Here's my health check app right here.
COVID vaccine.
Hell yeah.
Mike, stop. You're gonna get us in trouble again.
Wait. It's about 400 right here. No big deal.
Goes down.
Full depth. That's parallel. That's my health check, kid. Where's your health check?
There you go.
That's my health check.
You ever seen the people who can like shotgun a beer, but they just fucking take their thumb and just...
Oh God, dude, I feel like I'd rip my fucking skin off doing that.
Oh yeah, no, there's everybody from Quebec seems to love the twisted teas. So if you're ever hanging out with them, they'll literally start doing that, and they like cut their thumbs open doing it, and they like drink the blood and shit in the...
Oh, fucking...
Yeah, you get really fucking drunk and you just start slapping.
Oh yeah. No, it's great. Like this guy's finger, I guess it's just fucked. It's like a fucking can opener or something.
Oh my God.
And it just makes like a perfect triangle. He's like triangle bayonetting himself with this like jagged piece of aluminum.
Yeah, but then you lose your tracking for the rest of your life.
When me and my brother I got a twin brother who also plays Halo, but when we were kids, man, we'd always go out and we'd get like bottled beer whenever we're at a party. And he would always take the beer cap and put it in his teeth, and he'd be able to just open it with his teeth. It used to make me cringe so hard.
Oh God, yeah, you can crack your teeth doing that.
Side, like crooked and fucked up, like he's been smoking a pipe almost.
No, his teeth are perfect. My teeth are fucked up. Now, his teeth are perfect, but for some reason he just knew how to open it with his teeth.
Perfect.
I'd never try that shit.
That just sounds good.
I'd use this.
That just sounds impressive.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Cut that open real quick.
Right.
See, I gotta bust this one out here. This is my bad boy right here.
That's what you open your beers.
Yeah, with my 300 fucking blade.
Yeah.
Get ash my J with it.
What's up?
I said I get ash my J with it.
Yeah, I go goes right through the whole fucking can.
All right.
This is like a 7-inch blade.
Well, I mean, you guys got anything else? I'm all out of ideas for topics.
Let's see what the chat has to say.
We're at about an hour 50 right now, roughly. So, I mean, we're pretty full podcast time.
H2 devs didn't like the button glitches. Actually, yeah. So people have this idea that Bungie was like perfect and did everything better, and they did. They did do everything better, but they weren't perfect. A lot of the shit that they did was like revenge against good players, I think. So when you look at like CE with like the static weapon times, they didn't like people timing that shit, so they kind of fucked up all the weapon timings in H2. Like 1 minute and 23 seconds or whatever on Ivory Tower, like you were saying.
Yep.
And then in Halo 3, they changed that shit again. They removed all like the melee button combos and stuff.
It's been a progressive dumb down. It really has.
Well, and then Reach, you can't even shoot straight.
Yeah.
And yeah.
God damn it.
So, you know, people have this idea that like Bungie's really good. Bungie did the ranking system that's fucking up Halo Infinite right now. I don't know if people are aware of that, but like I've been told
Halo 3
so many fucking times that Halo Reach did not have a competitive ranking system. It did. It launched with one where you could get like you could grind to Onyx, right? And it rated your individual performance. So you could get sniped by your teammate to take your rockets and lose your rating. Guess what we're dealing with in fucking Halo Infinite right now? You can grind to Onyx. You're playing fucking objective on shit maps, but it's rating your KD more than your wins and your objective time.
You know, they also, if you guys don't remember, they added the social rank like midway through Halo 3 as well. There was your main 1 through 50, but then they added the social structure of experience based, and that was like when they implemented the next matchmaking system as well. It was like right at that same time. So like for a little bit of Halo 3, you had the OG Halo 2 set up, and then all of a sudden, like it's all fucking big team social kids and everything, just dominating the fucking forums, dominating the progression of things that are developed. You know, it's like I said, man, it's fucking embarrassing. Honestly, Counter-Strike laughs in our fucking face, man. They really do.
Counter-Strike's also in a shit form right now, but
not as bad as us, though.
Not as bad as us. No, Counter-Strike Go is basically like the Halo 3 or post-patch Halo Reach of Counter-Strike. Like it's still good enough.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of the really advanced shit that you could do in 1.6. That's like another game that
we were just watching a bunch of montages on Goat Stream last night at 1.6.
Yeah. And like ESEA, fucking Season 12, Annihilation 2, like all that shit. The shit that you could do in that game was out of control. Like,
it impressed the ogres.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that too, but Ogre 1 had an ESEA tag.
Yep. If you know where people are, because you played the game so much, almost every wall in that game is technically hollow.
Yep.
So you only lose bullet velocity or like bullet damage or whatever when it enters and exits. You don't lose anything for like the time between. So you can just hammer people through walls on nuke and shit.
Yep.
If you just
and
have
train.
like a fucking if you just have like a gigantic brain, just fuck everyone up.
I remember
in Go there's less of that.
Spawn, if you remember him from the 1.6 days, he had a montage where he did a deagle fucking headbanger one shot through the wall at the beginning of the train break.
Yep.
That blew my fucking mind as a kid, man.
Well, there was shit too in 1.6 that it's almost like Halo 2 with like different combos and shit. Yeah, like the first shot accuracy on like the AK wasn't very good, but if you knew you were gonna take somebody out in one shot, what you would do is you'd switch to your knife, then you pull out your AK, and while you're pulling it, you're pressing the shoot button.
It does
it's like almost
it resets
100% accurate.
Yeah,
it resets it. You can do it while you're still kind of coming down from running, and you can just hammer people. Like,
yeah, I remember
sitting on a shitty cubby spot on Dust 2 or something like that, and they kind of like peek out with their MP5 or whatever. You just take their head off in one shot. If you're like entry or something like that, it's fucking amazing.
I remember first learning that I was in an aim train AK M4 server. I don't know if you remember back in the day, but they had like those long ranges. They had like the blocks in front of it. It looked like an airsoft field almost.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember just getting slapped the fuck up by this dude with an AK, and he was just fucking moving and planting and pop, pop, pop. And he's like, "Oh yeah, do your tap strafe and switch to your knife," and pulled it. And I was just, I started practicing it like fucking 12 years old. Next thing you know, I'm two tapping people like nonstop, like consistently.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, I don't know.
You know what that is? That's the learning curve.
No.
The level of spray control too that you could have in 1.6, even with like the random side to side, was actually really good.
It was a 7.
The T pattern, yeah.
We can't have like a progression of skill that you have to climb Mount Rape from the bottom to the top.
God forbid.
God forbid we have any of that. You know.
CS:GO has certainly gotten rid of some of that, but like it's still quasi playable because a lot of like the shit about like positioning,
Yeah.
how you play call in the game. Just raw aim is not that fucked up because it's still like a Quake derived like gold source engine game, so it's not it's actually pretty smooth to aim in that game.
Yeah.
The connection is horrible, like the hitboxes suck, but like it's still better than Halo Infinite, so
Yeah.
it's not too bad.
And it's like at least you can get, like if you're trying to do money comp, you can rent 120 hertz servers and take
Yep.
away that peaker's advantage a lot, like a lot.
Yes.
It's, and
Well, they also
Valorant's done that
excessively
too. Yeah.
They do a lot of LANs. Everyone who plays the game's fucking European, so like they've all like got 7 ping to each other. There's
Yeah.
a bunch of things that make it a lot better.
Right. They have a lot of fiber out there.
Hey guys, I hate to cut this short, but I gotta piss like a racehorse, so either I'll be right back or we can call it.
We can just call it here, I think. We've gone over a lot. We got about a 2-hour podcast. I think it was a really good one.
This fucking coffee is going through me, man.
Yeah.
I've been holding it. I haven't been saying anything, but I'm ready to go.
All right.
So,
Well, guys,
let's do this again.
thank
Same
you.
time, same channel.
Yeah, thank you guys again so much. Thanks again to Reaching8 for coming on to the show, giving some cool, nerdy insight. You're not going to get it anywhere else in the Halo community. So please like and subscribe to the video. Check out our Discord in the link below. Come join us. We're going to be doing some how-to gaming pretty soon here, helping out the little peons in the clan. Even some of the members have some things to learn too. So if I'm not mistaken, Goat, we're doing Hot Boys tryouts soon, right? For the server rank to get the main 4s.
Let's do it.
All right. So stay tuned to that. Everybody, again, thank you so much for tuning in. Go, do you still playing after you're pissing?
Oh, you know. There's kids out there that need a lesson.
All right, I'm just going to raid you right now then and finish it off that way. That way you get some of the viewers here. Invalid raid target.
Well, I mean, I gotta warm up, so I'm gonna do my 15 minutes on midship, and after that, get into gaming. I'm sure there's gonna be some sweaty 4 boxes waiting for me.
Are you live right now or no?
Yeah, I'm live.
That's
I'm live
weird.
right
Why
now.
is it not letting me do it? Hold on.
Dude, I have like this headache.
Okay, there we go.
I got this creeping headache right now, man. I hope it goes away.
You need to get some water. You're too caffeinated. All right, guys. Again.
I'm on a shit ton of caffeine right now, and I only drank like a couple of waters, so I gotta drink more water.